Durag Diaries, it's your boy George back with another video, and today we're gonna be talking about our manager, the man leading the helm at Spurs right now, man like Big Ange. And yeah, what I wanted to talk about today was tactics. Are the tactics sustainable? Are we in a crisis? Do we think that the long-term future in the way that we play right now is gonna take us forward? And I just really wanted to get into the thick of it. But before we do, please make sure you do some housekeeping. Like the video, share the video, subscribe to the channel. We're pushing to 200 subs right now. As I said, the channel's only just got off the board, got off the floor, still under construction, but we're working. International break, so we've got plenty of content coming. And tomorrow, we've even got some more, a big meeting to discuss with the Spurs panel if this video comes out in time. But if it doesn't, make sure you go check out the video, Spurs crisis meeting. But yes, it's who we are, mate. That's the one thing that Ange will go out and say time and time again. We want to win. He wants to win playing the Tottenham way, or as he calls it. But I'd say it's the Ange way. And he won't do it no other way. And I'm all for someone, standing on business, sticking to the principles. And when they say something, sticking to their word. But at the same time, you need to be a man and admit when you're wrong sometimes. And there has been a few times where I've looked at this team and I said, Ange, you've got it wrong, mate. You've most definitely got it wrong. And this weekend was a big one. Tottenham versus Brighton. If you haven't already, please go check out the match review. I'll put that up here for you guys to click on and have a go. Head loss. As you can see, look, I'm still stressed from that game. No durag. My hair's looking a mess. The hairline's all over the place. We ain't sorting that out till Tottenham come good again. You know what I'm saying? But what that game did highlight to me, we have an issue. And Ange has an issue. Because the fact that he come out in the post-match review, and let me get up to get the exact words for people say I'm not copying what he said verbatim. But I'm just gonna get it up in front of us so we know exactly what Ange said after Brighton. But what it was, just to give you a brief outline. I think I've got it up here now. Oh, no, it's not here. No, forget about it. I'm just going to tell you what I know verbatim what he said. But he basically said, it doesn't matter if I done the subs any earlier. It doesn't matter if I made the changes because the intensity wasn't there. The team didn't want it. And they just wanted it more than us. They wasn't playing at the level required and they just didn't get the basics right. And if you don't get the basics right, no matter what changes were made, we weren't going to win the game. Pretty much along those lines. You want to get the exact quote up, feel free to do so and call me out if I'm wrong. But he pretty much said that. And it's absolute rubbish. It's absolute bullshit that's coming out of his mouth. Because it's quite clearly known you make the subs to change the game. You make subs to change the intensity of the game. And I look at the substitutions that he made and think, if you made those 20 minutes before, if you made those at 2-1, because I get halftime, I didn't feel like we needed to make any changes. I think the team played really well. But if you make those changes 20 minutes before, at 2-1 up, it's a whole completely different game. We don't let them go into the game as much as they do. You bring players like Papsar and Basuma on to slow it down, control the game, control the tempo. And that's one thing we need to see more from Spurs this season. The tactical setup. Is it a problem? I think this is where it becomes a problem. Is you cannot expect our team, the first 11, in fact, to maintain the level of intensity that we go into games at for a full 90 minutes. It's just not possible. You can't expect Madison, Kulu, Werner, who started, Brennan Johnson out on the right, and Dom Solanke to be pressing that back line for 90 minutes, especially when a team plays as good football as Brighton does. It just doesn't make no sense. Look, they've even got me choking right now. because it's not making no sense. But there's clearly ways that we can attack this. There's ways to change this. And what we need to see from the team is slow it down sometimes. You don't need to always go for a goal. I get it. We're gung-ho. We like to excite the fans. And I'm excited seeing my team attack. But I'm not excited knowing that when we attack, they're getting a transition attack. Same way. Basketball settings. Man, like you run. I don't know if you guys have ever watched NBA, but please do. You might see a man run to the end of the pitch, run to the end of the court, make his layup. And then within seconds, before you even know it, but by the time you turn around, the ball's already on the other side. And they've just scored their point. You didn't even get a chance to turn around. Didn't get a chance to celebrate. But that's how we're playing right now. That's exactly how we're playing. That's how we're conceding goals. Because teams will just catch us in the transition. When we're pressing up high, we got 3 guys, 3 man at the back. If even that's generous. Usually it's 2. Usually it's just Van der Ven and Romero. And teams just catching us in the transition. Caught off guard. And I just feel like we need to stop doing that, man. We need to slow it down. We need to stop over-committing players. And you know what? I'll give it to Ange. For the goals that we actually conceded, we didn't overcommit. I think at times we had, for the first goal, we had about 5 in our box. I know the third goal in particular, we had 7 people in our box. You can't go more part the bus than 7 man at the back and still concede. That wasn't a tactical issue. The tactics did not lie in the goals that we conceded in particular. I think the tactics issue lied in the fact that we let the game go. But the goals that we conceded, basics. The basics were the problem. Simple things. Stop watching the game. As a player, you don't let the game go past you. You control it. Romero, Porro, what are you doing? You're sitting there in the box just saying, oh, when's the ball going to come in? You having a good day? Yeah, I'm having a good day. What are you having for lunch? I don't know, man. Just like, what are we doing here, bro? What are we doing? He had about 5-10 seconds to read that ball coming into the box, and he just left Welbeck roaming in our box free. Crazy, crazy business. And then the other thing that I think Ange needs to look into more, man. We cannot rely on Van der Ven's pace to save us every time. As much as I think he's a good defender, he is still young. There is still some parts about his game that I'm really not convinced by. Aerially, he doesn't win enough. He doesn't win enough headers for me. For a guy that's 6'4", he should be dominating the pitch, especially when it comes to the air. But he just shies away from it at times. I feel like when he comes up against good 1v1 dribblers, good close, bloody hell, dying, man. This is what this club does to you. Puts you on his deathbed. But when it comes to players with close touch dribbling, like we saw with Minte and Ruta or Rutner, whatever his name is, Van der Ven struggles, man. Even Alexander Isak had him eating grass, had him tasting the green. Crazy, because those little 1-2 touch, those little, shimmy of the ball, drop of the shoulder, my man's falling all over the place. He's not looking so good when there's open space to run into. And I watched the game against Ferencváros, and my head was hot, bro. I was shook. I was waiting for those hamstrings, them cheese strings to just fall off. I was waiting for him to pull up. Injury done. Because you can't rely on a player to do 8 or 9 sprints at that pace every game to save us. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable. To be honest, I think most of the issues with the way that we set up and the way that Ange sets our team up, it comes back to bite us in defensively. Because going forward and with our attack, I don't really have much issues, apart from the fact that he's playing Timo Werner, but that's out of force right now. And once Timo Werner's not in the team, I think the setup has been good. I think the few tactical tweaks I saw a couple weeks ago with Udogie playing a bit more on the outside, making those overlapping runs rather than underlapping, because what we saw far too often prior to that is Udogie's underlapping his run into a crowded space we already play with inverted, everyone's inverted. So you run it, he's underlapping into the box, and there's about 6 men. They've got all their guys in the back of the box. You've got Solanke there, you've got Madders there, you've got all these guys taking up similar positions. So there's actually no space for him to run into. But we've seen the change. I just need to see it applied at a higher level. Because Udogie right now, he's not on fraud watch or anything like that. Again, young player, come back really late to the preseason. I don't feel like he had the time to set into preseason and get his sharpness back, but it's been worrying, those performances. That performance in particular on the weekend was the worst I've seen him in a Spurs shirt. And it's not one that I think is going to be continuously be a problem, but you need to sign another player to add some competition there. I said we need left back. I even called, let's sign Kajoglu, the guy that signed for Brighton. I watched him in the Euros. Class left back. Can play the ball on both feet, kind of quick, good defensively, and whipping in a ball, dangerous. Dangerous whipping it in, but we didn't go for it. I think at the back, we have a lot of depth issues, and a lot of our problems, to be honest, stem from the fact that we don't have quality in depth. Stems from the fact that we don't have players that we can bring on the bench to change the game. And I think Ange has noticed that. Ange has definitely noticed that the team we start with is the team that he just needs to go with. And he lacks that tactical adaptability in games. So I think to compare him to a top manager, he's some way off. And definitely the tactics for our team right now, I don't think they are sustainable. I'm going to be honest and saying I'm a big fan of Ange, but it's not sustainable. When you look at the players that we got, if he was Man City and he was managing Pep's team, it probably would be a bit more sustainable because the level of players they've got, the amount of goals they're going to score, they're probably not going to concede as much. But with the quality of players we have, the less amount of goals we score, because we don't score enough goals. Against Brighton, we should have scored a couple more. And it's like we lack that urgency and attack after we score goals. We had one shot on target after that. We're trying to pass the ball into the back of the net. That needs to be addressed. But yeah, man, it's going to be a difficult one. And it's going to be a tough one throughout the season to continuously watch us go gung-ho at teams. And just know that we're going to have to take some shots back. It's just about how strong are we in taking those shots? Can we shoot more? Can we go machine for machine? Who's got more ammo? That's literally what it is right now. Who's got more ammo in the clip? And that's how we play our games. And it's a dangerous way to play football. But yeah, man, it's who we are, mate. It's who we are. Thanks for watching, though. Thanks for tuning in. It's just been a quick video on my thoughts on where we're at right now with our tactics. And yeah, man, make sure you like the video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. If you want to see any more, look, you can see my handles there. TikTok, Durag Diaries, 4Jords on Twitter. That's you just see me going back and forth, people rattling. You already know where it is, but yeah, man. Thanks for watching the video. Yeah, man. Durag Diaries, we out.